Welcome back. It's Monday morning and we're making our way from our hotel over to the Port of Charleston. We'll be meeting up with Carrie's other sister and her family, and the 9 of us will be sailing together this week. We're all quite excited for the fun to start. Alright, we made our way here to the port in Charleston. Parking was pretty simple. You pull in, they take your money, circle you around, find a parking spot, and now we're just walking up to the cruise terminal here. Carnival Sunshine. Formerly the Carnival Destiny. This ship was actually a big deal when it came back in 1996, I think. It was the world's largest cruise ship at the time, and it was the first ship that was ever more than 100,000 gross tons. So it was a pretty big deal. And then in 2013, it got a major refurbishment, put like $200 million in it, and it came out as the Sunshine because they renamed it because it had so much work done. With the recent retiring of some of the fantasy class ships from Carnival, this is actually Carnival's oldest ship now, if you take it back to when it used to be the Destiny. Not the smallest, but it's actually the oldest Carnival ship now. What day is it?
Thursday!
Making our way to the check-in desk. This terminal is quite interesting. It's just an old warehouse that they've retrofitted. Alright, after you check in with the agent, they tell you to come over here and get a seat, and they board by zone number, because we're actually so far from the boat that you have to get on a shuttle bus over to the main terminal. After a lengthy wait, our boarding number was finally called, and we headed out to board our shuttle bus. The terminal setup here in Charleston is quite unique, and the fact that you park close, walk a fair distance to the first terminal, then board a shuttle bus to the second terminal where you board the ship. It's quite different than what we're used to.
Welcome aboard the Carnival Sunshine.
Finally made it through a long wait at security, and we're headed on board. Carnival Sunshine, 6 days out of Charleston, South Carolina. Actually the cheapest cruise we've ever been on.
By far.
And maybe we'll talk about that later, but this was just a super good deal. We didn't plan on cruising now, but we couldn't pass it up. The wait was finally over as we walked on board the Carnival Sunshine. Although we just got off the Mardi Gras 8 days prior, we had a lot to look forward to on this cruise. The girls were so excited to set off to find their cousins. We boarded directly into the atrium, and as usual, this area is always congested on Embarkation Day. We quickly headed away from the crowds and set off to explore our new home. Our first stop was the main dining room, where I met with one of the hosts to place my order for the evening. This is not necessary for everyone, but as Mylan and I have celiac disease, we have learned that you have a lot more options if you order ahead of time. After placing our dinner order, we set out in search of lunch. We met up with our cruise partners in the aft of the ship, where Casina del Capitano was serving up a pasta bar, and the Mongolian Wok was offering up made-to-order dishes.
It's quite big, right? Mm-hmm. They're big, like you could put a movie on it.
Hey girls, room 2321. Here we go. It's our first interior room. Let's check it out. Who's going to take the honors?
Me.
Here we go. 3, 2,
Oh, I love
1.
It's mine. I like it. It's quite small.
I love it.
Isn't it nice?
I get this one.
Isn't it nice? There's no way I'm putting it on.
Dropped our bags off at our room and headed to Camp Ocean, the onboard kids camp, to register the girls. This is the only time that parents are actually allowed inside. Charleston Pier. Could use some work. As we had booked an interior room for this sailing, we did not have a balcony to watch sail away from, so we headed up to the sports deck where we met up with the Millers. Mylan, Jagger, and Jackson headed off for the ropes course. Mia wasn't tall enough today, although if you remember, she was able to do it last week on the Mardi Gras. The kids had a lot of fun on the ropes course. We like to hit up the onboard activities early on boarding day, as the lines are usually much shorter than they are later in the week. As it was a little chilly, none of us wanted to swim, so we stayed on the sports deck where we played games and eventually watched Sailaway. Sports deck on Carnival Sunshine has a lot to offer. There was shuffleboard and table games, as well as a basketball court, in addition to the ropes course. There's seating throughout, and the area is always less crowded than the main pool deck.
What day is it? Boy, you guys are so enthusiastic.
Around 4 p.m. we pulled away from the Port of Charleston. The city is beautiful and has a lot of incredible locations, but the cruise port needs some work. The city has very strict ordinances regarding cruising, and unfortunately, Carnival will be leaving here in the near future. Alright, we all just got cleaned up, showered. Now we're headed out for our mandatory pictures. Not sure what we're going to get into. Dinner's at 8:15, late seating. And we are going to maybe see music, maybe see the comedian. We met up with the Miller family in the atrium. This is always a busy gathering spot in the evenings. It was extra convenient for us as our dining room was off this area. We grabbed a couple of seats, listened to the music, and tried not to embarrass the kids. Cruising with family makes downtime like this while we're waiting for dinner a lot better. On most cruises, Carrie and I would drop the girls off at camp and then head to dinner alone. But on this sailing, Mylan wanted to join us for dinner due to the simple fact that her cousins, Jagger and Jackson, would be there.
Shrimp cocktail, please.
J-E-T-T.
With, I'll have the braised beef brisket.
Yes.
And then, can I get a side of mac and cheese as well? And then are you doing dessert as well? Can I just get, do you have orange sherbet?
Orange sherbet?
Yes.
And braised beef brisket with a side of mac and cheese. And then for dessert, can I get the melting cake with extra ice cream and fresh tropical fruit?
I'm going to have calamari
calamari, not calamari.
Calamari,
Calamari.
shrimp cocktail, and strawberry bisque.
It's been a long day.
And then I'll have the
Calamari.
broiled steak, sirloin, medium rare, and then tropical fruit for dessert.
Dinner tonight consisted of old Carnival favorites: shrimp cocktail, although they took the delicious white sauce away, strip steak, and chocolate melting cake. This is my go-to on this cruise line. There are other things that I often get and enjoy, but these staples are available every night, and that is good. Unfortunately, only Disney Cruise Line has ever offered gluten-free calamari. Carnival Cruise Line and dining room entertainment go hand in hand these days. What started off years ago as a simple goodbye song has evolved into almost nightly displays. The singing does generally slow down the meal quite a bit, so if you're in a hurry, just be warned. But it is all in good fun, and our nephew Jet really enjoyed himself this evening. After the dancing was over, we finished the meal with our dessert. This is the best part of cruising: dessert with every meal.